Hey everybody, I thought I would do a video today and take a little stroll down memory lane for the first album on vinyl I ever owned, the first 45 I ever owned, the first cassette tape I ever owned, and the first CD that I ever owned. So the first album that I ever owned, and I was probably 7 years old when I got this. I believe it was a birthday present. My dad was a huge Elton John fan. He used to have Honky Chateau, he had Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player, and he had Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And I even remember the day that he brought Caribou home and played Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me and some of the other tracks on there. I remember I was homesick with the flu, and he brought that album home, and I remember listening to it and looking at the artwork on it. So just from way back, one of the first artists that I was heavily into was Elton John. And so when I got this for my birthday, I was just over the moon excited because it had all the great hits that I love from Elton John on here. It's got Your Song, which actually was my parents' wedding song, Daniel, Honky Cat, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, Rocket Man, Benny and the Jets. This is as solid a greatest hits as you will ever find. And I played this to death, probably till the groove's worn out. And I got the second Elton John greatest hits for my birthday, I think when I was 8 or 9 years old. So I really have a soft spot for this album, and I still enjoy Elton John every bit as much as I did then. Now, the very first 45 that I ever owned, that I actually bought with my own money, was AC/DC, Let's Get It Up. And this one, I had a friend who had the Back in Black album. He got it through a music record club. He also had Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. And so I knew that I really liked AC/DC a lot. And so the only thing that I was able to afford and that I was able to buy for myself at the time was a 45. And so I got the Let's Get It Up 45. And this has Snowballed, which is another track from For Those About to Rock, We Salute You on the flip side. And just love the red album cover, or not the album cover, but the sleeve, even though the album cover is brownish on For Those About to Rock. But just really have fond memories of this song too, and just kind of rocking out. My mom was a big AC/DC fan, so I could turn this up and not have to worry that she was going to yell at me that I was playing it too loud. So, and then the first cassette that I ever owned, and I never said I was cool in middle school, it was Huey Lewis and the News Sports. And I had a Walkman, and I would get on the bus and I would put this cassette tape into the Walkman and just try and tune out everything that was going around me as I rode the bus to school every day, and just try to stay under the radar, keep to myself. And so many bus trips, I would just listen to this over and over and over again. It's not my favorite album. It's not the greatest album ever, but I did like a lot of the songs. I was hearing them on MTV and on the radio. And so I love The Heart of Rock and Roll. Heart and Soul, I think, was the first single that I heard off of here. I Want a New Drug. And If This Is It was, I think, the last video that aired on MTV. But again, I have a real nostalgia for this one, and now I own it on CD and vinyl and cassette, just because I just do. Now, the very first CD that I ever owned, and I had friends who had CDs, and I thought that technology was the coolest. You were never supposed to be able to scratch a CD like a vinyl record would scratch. And I just always wanted a CD. I felt I was missing out on something because all my friends were getting CDs. And so finally, for Christmas of, it might have been 1988, I believe it was, I finally got two awesome things Christmas Day. I got a Sony CD Walkman, and I got Beatles Past Masters Volume 2. I had I just pretty much all their stuff on vinyl at that point, but I really wanted something on CD because it was this brand new technology. It sounded amazing, and it was supposed to wipe out vinyl, and this was going to be the new medium, and you weren't going to need your vinyl anymore. So that's kind of laughable knowing what we know now, but at the time I was like, oh, I can't wait. And this had so many great tracks on here. It starts off with Day Tripper, We Can Work It Out, The Paperback Writer, Rain Single, Lady Madonna, Hey Jude, Revolution, Don't Let Me Down, Ballad of John and Yoko. Just great track after track, and they sounded so great on CD. So I always, you know, I still have this CD, still kept it around, and it still means a lot to me. So anyway, just a quick little video on my first loves, my first purchases of each of those mediums. Just a way to pass the time. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to share in your comments what your first album, 45, CD, and record was, feel free.